Hiya for Miss Foster here. In this video I'm going to go through the maths section of your week 11 work packs. So as usual you have your arithmetic questions and your worded problems, and same as always they are broken down into 1-star questions and 2-star questions. So obviously start with your 1-star questions on your arithmetic and then move on to the 2-star questions, and then you also have some challenge questions for your arithmetic as well, where you need to use the inverse to find out your answer there and fill in the gaps. Then for your worded problems you have the same. You've got your 1-star questions that I would like everyone to start on, and then you have your 2-star questions, and at the bottom you have your extension question to challenge yourself even further. And here we have your day 2 questions, so they're the exact format as day 1. You have your 1-star and 2-star arithmetic, and then obviously your challenge questions, and then we have your 1-star and 2-star worded problems with your extension task at the end. So I'm going to go through some questions now, some 1-star and 2-star questions, so you can get an idea of the skills that you need to use to answer these questions. The first one we're going to look at is a 1-star question. So it says, Miss Foster buys 245 chocolate buttons. She eats 50 on Saturday and 85 on Sunday. How many does she have left? So first of all, when I see the word left, it makes me think that this is a subtraction word problem. However, if I look at the beginning, it says Miss Foster buys 245 chocolate buttons. She eats 50 on Saturday and 85 on Sunday. So I need to work out how many chocolate buttons I have eaten all together. So in order to find that out, I need to add 50 and 85 together. So I've set it out in the column method because this is the easiest way to work it out. So 0 plus 5 would give us 5, and then 5 plus 8 would give us 13. So our answer is 135. But I haven't finished yet because the question asks how many does she have left. So now I need to do my subtraction part of the worded problem. So I'm going to do 245 take away 135, because I started with 245 chocolate buttons and I ate 135. So again, I'm setting it out in the column method because this is the easiest way for me to do it. 5 take away 5 equals 0, so I'll put my 0 underneath in the ones column. I've got 4 tens take away 3 tens, which gives me 1 10, so I'll put that one underneath in my tens column. And then I've got 2 hundreds take away 100, which also gives me 100, which I'll put underneath in my hundreds column. So I know my answer to this question is 110 chocolate buttons left. So now we're going to look at a 2-star question. So this one is quite tricky, and you have a similar one in your work pack this week. So I'm going to break it down and we can go through it together. It says, Mr. Spong spends 6 minutes every day writing letters to the parents. How many hours and minutes did he spend writing letters to the parents in May? So there's a couple of steps that we need to do in order to answer this question. So I've underlined my key information first. So I've underlined 6 minutes every day, hours and minutes, so I know I have to write my answer in hours and minutes, and May. So first of all I need to think how many days are there in May. So I can look at my calendar to help me out, or I may already know. I know that there are 31 days in May. So he spends 6 minutes for 31 days writing these letters. So I know I need to do 31 times 6, so 31 lots of 6. So I need to obviously put my multiplication symbol, and I'm setting it up in the column method. So I'm going to do 6 times 1, which I obviously know is 6, so I'm going to put that underneath. And then I'm going to go and do 6 times 3, or 6 times 3 tens, which I know would be 18. So I'll put that underneath there. So I know that that's 186 minutes. So that's how long he has spent in just minutes writing letters to the parents in May. However, my question asks me to do my answer in hours and minutes. So 186 minutes. I know that there are 60 minutes in an hour. So if I know my 6 times tables, I also know my 60 times tables because it's just 10 times bigger. So if I were to count up in 60s, I would have 60, 120, 180. I can see that 180 is very close to 186, so it's only 6 minutes less than what we need. So because I've done this 1, 2, 3 times, I know that 180 minutes equals 3 hours. But I have 6 minutes extra, so I know 180 minutes equals 3 hours plus another 6 minutes means that the answer to this question is 3 hours and 6 minutes. So he spent 3 hours and 6 minutes writing letters to the parents in the month of May. This last question we're going to look at is very similar to one of your EXT questions. So we're going to look at it together because it involves some fractions, and we're going to break it down and work it out. It says I have 160 Skittles. 3/8 are red, 2/8 are yellow, and the rest are orange. How many Skittles are orange? So we know that 3/8 are red and 2/8 are yellow, but we need to find out how many are orange. So it's not asking us how many 8s are orange, but how many Skittles are orange. First of all, we need to find out how many Skittles we've already accounted for. So we've got 3/8 and 2/8. So we need to add those together. So when adding fractions, so we've got our 3/8 plus 2/8, we know that our denominator always stays the same. So our denominator for both of these is 8 because it needs to be the same, which means our denominator for our answer will also be 8. It's nice and easy. Then we need to add our numerators. So we have 3 for our numerator here and 2 for our numerator here. We know that 3 plus 2 equals 5. So we know 3/8 are red, 2/8 are yellow, and we've added them together. So we know 5/8 of the Skittles are already counted for with red and yellow Skittles. But we need to find out how many are orange. So first of all, we need to find out how many 8s are orange, and then we can find out the amount that are actually orange. So we need to now take away 5/8 from our whole to see how many we have left over. We know that 8/8 is a whole because when our numerator and our denominator are the same number, that equals 1 whole. So our calculation would be 8/8 take away 5/8. Again, our denominator would still be 8 when we are subtracting fractions. And then we need to look at our numerators. So we have 8 for this one and 5 for this one. So we're going to do 8 take away 5. So we should all know what 8 take away 5 is, and that is 3. So we know that we have 3/8 left, and that's how many 8s are orange. So now we need to work out our fraction of amounts. So when we're doing our fraction of amounts, there's always a rule. So we're doing 3/8 of 160. So we always divide by our denominator and times by our numerator. So we're going to do that with 3/8 of 60. So we divide by our denominator first. So we would be doing 160 divided by 8. So this might be quite tricky for us to work out initially, but we can use something to help us. We know that 16 divided by 8 is 2. So it's just 10 times bigger. So 10 times bigger than 2 would be 20. So we know 160 divided by 8 equals 20. So we've divided by our denominator. Now we need to multiply it by our numerator. So we've got 20 and we're going to times it by 3. Again, this could be a bit tricky, but we can use our times tables to help us out because we know that 2 times 3 equals 6. So our answer will be 10 times bigger. And 10 times bigger than 6 would be 60. So we've divided by our denominator and then we've times that answer by our numerator. So we know that 60 Skittles are orange. There's quite a few steps for this question here, But if you use this part of the video to help you, it will help you break down the question, the EXT question that is in your pack. If you have any questions, of course, you can ask your teachers, but good luck.